Ever feel like you can't fully switch off even when you're trying to relax, trying to essentially do nothing? Hey, I'm Dan. I've spent over a decade working with high performing entrepreneurs, leaders, founders on nervous system health, helping people shift from chronic stress to what I call a relaxed intensity, a rebalancing of the nervous system. And look, if you've built something successful, a career, business, there's a good chance your nervous system is stuck in what we call emergency mode or beta brainwaves. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through why this happens, what it's actually costing you, and most importantly, 5 practical tools that you can use today to help your nervous system find its way back to a dynamic balance between activation and relaxation. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to shift gears, not by losing your edge, but by expanding your capacity to meet life fully without burning out. Now, let's explore this together. So first, let's talk about what's actually happening in your nervous system. Your brain operates in different wave states. Yeah, think of them like gears in a car. Yeah, where you've got beta brain waves. These are your emergency gear. You get stuff done gear. It's hyper focus. It's activation. It's how you crush all of the deadlines and build businesses and careers. And there's nothing wrong with beta. It's incredibly useful. We need this brainwave to be able to complete and execute on things. And all of this is what we implement in full in our 90-day embodied nervous system mastery program. And so here's the reality of the situation. Most high achievers are living in beta 14, 16, sometimes 18 hours a day. We're not stepping out of it frequently enough and for long enough. It's like driving your car in first gear the entire journey or at rev 7 or 8. You'll get where you're going, but you're going to burn out the engine. You're going to burn out your system, your nervous system on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. And this isn't just about feeling stressed. I'm feeling a little bit stressed. When you're stuck in emergency mode, your window of tolerance, that's your nervous system's capacity to be able to handle activation relative to relaxation. This window becomes incredibly narrow. Yeah, we prop and our relaxation isn't great. And so you start to take things personally. You're reactive instead of responsive. Small things trigger big reactions. Sound familiar? I hope everyone's hand is up because we're all human beings with nervous systems, and this is a natural thing that can arise for us. So the challenge is in Western culture, we've been conditioned to believe that relaxation equals losing your edge. But that's not what the biology says. And so here's where this gets super interesting. And this is something that changed everything for me personally. The quality of your attention determines the state of your nervous system. When you're in emergency mode, get shit done mode, your attention becomes highly focused, attentional based. Yeah, you're zoomed in on specific tasks, problems to solve, things to execute. And that's incredibly useful for getting things done. But when you're stuck there without being able to step out with ease, your attention starts scanning for threats in the environment, for problems, what's wrong, what could go wrong. It's like having tunnel vision that won't release. And when I was 16 years old, I had a coach. He was my football coach. And he taught me something, a principle that I have carried through the rest of my life and applied to so many different elements of my life. What he taught me was what you focus on expands. Whether that's something useful or something not so useful, it's going to expand. I'd be there and having executed a pass that wasn't so great. And then he saw me constantly focusing on the not so great pass and then seeing many other passes in the game that were not so great following that first not so great pass because I was focusing on the not so great pass. And I got to the end of the game saying, had that one not so great pass, then the rest of my game was not so great. And so this gets applied to all of life. When something like that occurs, start to focus on that which we're wanting more of in our lives without disassociating or ignoring or pretending that the other stuff isn't there. And so what you focus on expands. Let me say that again. What you focus on and feed expands. If you're constantly scanning for what's broken, what needs fixing, who might judge you, without ever opening your awareness, your nervous system interprets that as we're in danger and it stays activated. But you can shift this. You can move from narrow task focused attention to what we call open awareness. This is where you notice your thoughts, your body sensations, the sounds around you arising within awareness without attaching to any of them. You're simply present to life as it emerges and arises. And this simple shift from I need to fix this right now to I'm noticing what's here literally changes your brainwave state into a softer focus. You start moving from beta brainwave down into alpha, which is a light focus, like reading a book. And so you're still aware, still capable, but you're not propping at that beta brainwave. Yeah. Propping, by the way, is what happens when you force activation instead of allowing authentic activation by the nervous system. And your nervous system knows the difference. Now, that concept is big, but if you don't also have practical tools to support this shift, the magic is lost. Yeah? So let me give you 5 specific, simple ways to help your nervous system shift gears, as is needed and as your nervous system is wanting to naturally flow through. So tool number 1 is choosing your sensory input. Okay. So this first tool, this one's going to sound almost too simple, but it's about being intentional with what your nervous system is processing. Blue light from screens, that's telling your brain it's daytime, stay alert, stay activated, and tuning your brainwave state into beta brainwave. You're literally training your nervous system to stay in beta. White and blue light are the same. However, a more natural daylight, soft lamps that are more neutral are much better for your nervous system. But here's what's interesting. Reading a book with soft lighting starts to downregulate your system immediately. You're moving from beta brainwave frequency towards alpha. Yeah, listening to audio with your eyes closed, even more relaxing. You're heading into theta territory, from beta alpha to theta, which is deep relaxation, almost a meditative state. And body awareness practices are invaluable. Breath work, gentle movement, somatic tracking, just becoming aware of your shoulder and the shirt and material and fabric that's sitting on your shoulder that you weren't aware of just 60 seconds ago also immediately shifts you from a beta brainwave frequency into those lower frequencies. These can take you all the way down into theta and delta, which is where the real nervous system reset happens. The key is having a menu of options and being intentional about which gear your nervous system is needing to be in and asking to be in. Choose your tool based on what your nervous system actually needs. Makes sense, super simple. Not what your mind thinks you should be doing. So tool number 2 is conscious breathing. Now, before you run away because we've used the word conscious, stick with me for a moment. This second tool, this is foundational. How we breathe is literally how we think. When you're in emergency mode, your breath is shallow. It's high in your chest. It's rapid. Yeah. That's your sympathetic nervous system running the show. But you can use breath to send a different signal to your nervous system. Here's what I want you to try right now. And I mean right now. So just pause for 10 seconds after I've given this little demonstration and walkthrough. Okay. Breathe in through your nose, let your belly expand and count to 4. 2, 3, 4. Then breathe out through your mouth. Slow and relaxed. Count to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That longer exhale is literally stimulating your vagal nerve, telling your body we're safe. We can relax. You don't need a 30-minute breathwork session, although those are incredibly powerful and body-based breathwork. So you can shift your nervous system state in 90 seconds with conscious breathing to support the natural conditions for the nervous system to regulate itself. 3 rounds of this pattern, and you'll notice that you start to expand this window, become more and more comfortable, perhaps. Yeah. It's pretty powerful stuff. Now, moving on to tool number 3, completion over perfection. This is a big one that I've needed to work on myself. Yeah. This third tool is about understanding the stress cycle. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. Your nervous system wants to complete these cycles of flight, fight, freeze, contemplation, but most high achievers interrupt this cycle constantly. I wouldn't say just high achievers, all humans, right? And so something might be frustrating you. That's activation. Yeah, that's fight or a flight that's coming in, energy for those. But instead of allowing that energy to move through your body, you or we might immediately jump to the next task, the next problem, the next email. Yeah, it feels a little too uncomfortable. So I'm just going to move on to the next thing. I don't have time to deal with this right now. And that incomplete stress cycle, it just stacks. Yeah, you're carrying around emotional residue from when you were 5 years old. You, me, all of us in this work together. What your nervous system needs is completion. Yeah. And so step 1, notice the energy there. Let it be there. Step 2, let the energy move. Go for a walk, do some push-ups, shake it out, make some sounds. Let the cycle complete and then move to the next thing. This is what relaxed intensity looks like in practice. So the fourth tool, and this connects directly to what we talked about earlier with attention. Create what I call an awareness anchor. This is a practice where you deliberately shift from narrow problem focused attention to open, spacious awareness. And here's how. Right now, sitting in your chair, notice 3 things you can see without moving your head. Just notice them. Yeah, now notice 3 sounds around you. Now notice 3 sensations in your body. Maybe your feet on the ground, your breath, the temperature, your skin. Can you feel how your nervous system has just shifted? That's you moving out of beta, out of emergency mode into presence, into open clarity. And you can do this anywhere, anytime. Your awareness is always available. You just need to remember to access it. And with me running the risk of confusing you here, you are awareness itself. You are as awareness with all of these things arising and falling away. Might be another video on that. And so the 5th tool, this one's about creating deliberate gear shifts in your day. Yeah. Most people go from high intensity work straight into trying to relax at home and wonder why they can't switch off. Where's the ramp? Yeah, that allows us to ease into that, to make that switch. Your nervous system needs this transition time, 5 to 10 minutes at a bare minimum, where you're deliberately down regulating. It's why I love saunas. They're a solid hour, 45 minutes of time without anything but the heat. It could be sitting in your car before you go inside and taking that 5 minutes. It could be a short walk around the block. It could be 3 minutes of breath work in the bathroom, becoming aware of your breath. The piece here, though, is that the specific tool matters less than the intention behind it. You're telling your nervous system, hey, buddy, we're changing gears now. We're moving from tunneled attention, and we've done a good job today, yeah, into open clarity. And this, over time, trains your window of tolerance to be more dynamic. You can activate when you need to, and you can genuinely relax when you choose to, and when the nervous system naturally wants to. That's the goal. So, why does all of this even matter? Because when you expand your window of tolerance through the layers of brainwave states, when you can allow the shifting of gears consciously, everything starts to shift and change. Calm meetings, quality time with the family, peaceful moments. You stop taking things personally. You become responsive instead of reactive. You sleep better. Your nervous system actually knows how to rest. That constant mental chatter, it quiets down because you're not stuck in beta all of the time. You show up as a better leader, a better partner, a better parent, not because you're trying harder, but because you're operating from a regulated nervous system, one that's balanced. That's authentic leadership. That's relaxed intensity. And here's what I really want you to understand. You don't have to choose between high performance and well-being. That's a false choice. The most sustainable high performers are the ones who've learned to shift gears consciously. Rapid transformation is so available and possible here, and this work takes time. Your nervous system needs time to integrate these new patterns. But every time you choose one of these tools, you're expanding your capacity. And so, what I've shared with you today, these 5 tools, these are practices you can access with your conscious working mind. You can choose to breathe differently, shift your attention, create transitions. And that's super powerful. But there are also patterns in your nervous system that live below the conscious awareness, patterns from pre-verbal experiences before language was a thing for us, the first 3 years of our life, incomplete stress cycles from years ago, conditioning that can't be accessed through traditional talk therapy or mental practices alone. That's where the deeper, more rapid transformational work comes in. Body-based practices like FBR, facilitated breath repatterning, somatic tracking, working with the low brain. These access and shift patterns that your thinking mind simply cannot reach. Both matter though. The conscious practices help you navigate daily life. The deeper work helps you reorganize the foundation itself. And so look, if you're recognizing yourself in what we've talked about today and you want support in actually implementing this work and making it real for yourself in your day-to-day life, not just understanding it conceptually, but feeling it shift in your body, it's the work I do and help many others with. And so just head to the Work With Me link in the description below. There's a quick explainer video there about who I can and can't help. And if it resonates, you're welcome to apply to work with me and we can jump on a call. And just know that you'll be jumping on a call with me. Yeah, there's no salespeople, there's no team of salespeople. And so if that resonates for you, give that a go. But anyway, here's the thing most people miss about all of this. To actually shift from emergency mode to this relaxed intensity, you need to understand that it's not about doing more. It's about being more aware of how you're already doing the things, bringing an awareness to how you're already behaving without a need to change anything. Your breath right now is either keeping you in beta or helping you shift down. Your attention right now is either scanning for threats or resting in awareness. Your body right now is either holding incomplete stress cycles or completing them. And depending on what's happening in front of us, we allow the body to respond. Now, the tools are simple. The practice is the thing, and your nervous system will meet you where you are if you're willing to listen to what it actually needs. I really hope this video helps you recognize when you're stuck in emergency mode and gives you practical ways to shift those gears. But here's what I didn't cover today. the deep nervous system patterns that keep you stuck, and why transformational work goes beyond what words and conscious practices can reach. That's what we explore in this video right here, about the importance of deep transformational work beyond the words. Check it out, and I'll see you there, together in deep work, deep rest, and deep play.